Hey Siskins fans, it's Mike Van Etten, the voice of the Siskins, and we have a very special guest tonight, which normally we would call this the voice box up here. Tonight, my special guest is Siskins General Manager Richard Gauthier. So tonight, it's Goach's Corner. And welcome Richard, thank you for joining us. Game 5, we were up 3-0 in the series, and going over to Mount Forest, a lot of people thought it was over. They thought we'd walk into Mount Forest and win that one. You were there. Give me your thoughts about that game.
Well, we had a 3-1 lead going into the second period, and we gave up a goal to get a 3-2. They got some momentum going, and they started playing a little more physical. And they started pressuring us harder. Our team made some bad decisions in our own zone. Couldn't get the puck out of our own zone a few times. So the first time when you don't get the puck out of your zone, you get yourself in trouble. Guys get running around. We got running around, and they sniped a couple goals. Once they took a 3-3 tie, then they took the lead, and we had to fight back. And I think the boys sort of got a little overconfident at 3-1, and they sort of thought that they didn't have to play hockey anymore. So the effort sort of stopped, and we started playing as individuals and making some bad mistakes.
And I was listening. I wasn't able to go, but I was listening on CKNX, and the broadcast, they were talking a lot about the penalties on both teams. In particular, I know at one point we took a check from behind, Carson Gandy, early in the first period. Later on, Mount Forest took a check from behind, and they said on the broadcast their bench exploded over the penalties. But yeah, penalty trouble. It's something both teams.
We just, like I think up till the other night, we had our penalties were like 98 minutes to 23 for us. We just got to learn to channel our emotions and quit yelling and screaming and chirping. Because once you start yelling at the referee and the players start doing it, the coaches start doing it, then you're not going to get any calls. The Carson Gandy hit from behind was a terrible call. Terrible, like they were side to side, they weren't even facing the boards. So it was a little push in the butt. He went down. It was a hit from behind. The one on Cool from Mount Forest it warranted a 2 in the game because it was a bad hit. Yeah. But I think the penalties, if you can stay out of penalty trouble and you can keep your mouth shut and channel your emotions and play hockey, I think that we've got some good speed. I think we got 3 really solid lines. Mount Forest has one good line, good defense, and number 22 on their team, McCriven. I mean, they've got some good skill, and Lobslinger, he played well the other night. He made some big saves.
And that leads me to my next question. Both goaltenders have had pretty good series. Firstly, I think Simeo has had a better series, but both goaltenders have played at a higher level. Your thoughts on the goaltending in this series?
And we talked about that earlier, and I think Simeo, game 1 was okay. I don't think he was great. Game 2, game 3, I think that's the Simeo that we're used to. Game 4, I think he struggled a little bit in the net. I think he was got the rest of the players maybe a little overconfident, didn't move as well, and sort of like a little bit of we're expected to win. We're coming in here, we're going to win, and no matter what happens, we're going to win. But Lobslinger played well, made a lot of big saves. I think we outshot him by 11. So he kept him in the game.
And just changing gears a little bit, looking around the playoffs for the Schmalz Cup, last night Glanbrook wrapped up their series in 4 straight. Over in the Eastern Conference final, you have Lakefield and Port Hope. And Lakefield was looking to wrap up that series in game 4 as well. Port Hope fought back on that one. Your thoughts on that series? Because Port Hope's been in this for a few years in a row.
Yeah, and Port Hope's got a goalie that played at a higher level, so he was playing, and then they put the Caliburri kid back in, and they seem to win. So, they changed goaltending, so you wonder if the goaltender change is going to make a bit of a change in the series, which it could. But they say in any sport, game 4 is the toughest one to win. So you got to be focused, you got to win the game, you got to be ready right from the drop of the puck to the end, and you got to stay disciplined, and you got to work hard. And that's probably what happened. It doesn't hurt to lose a game for these guys to understand what losing's about, right, and know how they got to regroup and get ready for the next game.
And I'm going to put you on the spot before we wrap this up. Your prediction for tonight's game?
Tonight's game, it's going to be a 4-2 game.
4-2 game, of course, for Stainer.
For Stainer, of course.
Fans, thank you very much, Richard Gauthier, for a very special edition of Goach's Corner here at the State Arena. We're about 10-15 minutes away from puck drop. Thanks for joining us.